Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back here with another video of my series where I teach you guys how to make a CRUD application from the beginning. And I know the last video was pretty long, it was like 30 minutes long, but I think this is the last video of my series. So currently we can read like everything from the database, and we can also insert everything in our database. And what we need to do left is maybe I'm thinking like trying to make a way so that whenever you add a movie to our database, you don't need to refresh the page, because currently, for example, if I write here Fast and Furious, right? And I come here and write very good, and I submit, nothing appears. You need to refresh the page so that it will fetch the new information from the database. Why is this happening? Basically, we're only let me come to app.js. We're only getting the information whenever the useEffect hook is called. And this only happens once, whenever the page is rendered. So we need to fix that so that whenever we just click here, we don't need to refresh the page. And this is basically one of the best things that React can do. And we're going to take advantage of that. And also, I'm thinking we need to style this a bit so that we can have like a nice card for each movie. And in each card, there's going to be maybe an update button and a delete button, so we can finish the CRUD aspect of our application, which it means basically update and delete. And I think that's it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the application be able to update itself consistently. So let's come here, and you know that we have a movie review list. This is basically the list that is displaying right here with all the names. So whenever we click on submit review, I simply want to add the new movie that I'm submitting into that list. So I'll just grab set movie list, and I'll come here and I'll erase this, and I'll set the movie list equal to the current movie list, so movie list. And I'm also going to add some dots before it. So, and we want to add the new movie that we're adding to our database, which is basically an object with the movie name and the movie review. So movie name equals to the current movie name, and review, I think it's review. Let me look at the object. Let me see. When we're displaying, basically, it's a movie name and movie review. Okay, so movie review is equal to review. So now, whenever we're adding something to the database, we're also, after making the post request, we're also setting the movie list with equal to the same movie list, but pushing a new element, which is the one we're submitting to our database. And let's try this again. So if I add a movie, for example, let me think of a movie. I don't know, Hobbit. And I give it a review. Nice movie. And I press submit. You can see that nothing happens. Why is it happening? Let me look at the inspect element. Each child, this isn't the problem. Let me refresh it. And if we refresh it, it works. But why is it not working? Okay guys, I fixed it. Basically, I was setting everything on the promise. Basically, after the post request, there was a dot then, and that wasn't working. So what I would recommend is just separating both. So make the xuse.post request over here, and then set the movie list. So if I come here and write the name of a random movie like Percy Jackson, and you can see like there's no Percy Jackson here. Nice movie. And I press submit. Now Percy Jackson appears here, and I don't need to refresh my page. So basically that's it. So what I'm thinking we need to do now is style this a bit, because you're seeing that this is like taking a lot of space. It's not visually pleasing, and also like we need to make it into some cards, right? So let's create a card right here. So over here, we're going, instead of just making it h1, I'm going to make it a div, and the div will have a class name of card, and then inside of here there's going to be an h1, which is basically going to be the movie. And there's not like, I'm gonna erase this movie name part because we're gonna try to make it a little bit prettier. So we're just putting the movie name on the top, and on the bottom we're adding the review as like a description. So let me just create a paragraph tag, and I'm gonna even erase the movie review label. So let's look at this. You can see this is basically how it's gonna look. It's gonna have the title, and on the bottom the little review, right? But we're gonna make this look better. So app.css, I'm gonna grab here and call the card, and make it let me think, a width of like 500 pixels, then a height of like 150 pixels, then some borders. So border 2 pixels, solid, and black. Let's make it simple. And let's add a border radius, because I always think they look nice. So border radius of like 15 pixels. Let's take a look at how it's looking. It's a bit too big, so I'm gonna make this 100. And no, actually 150 was looking, no, 120, and I'm adding a margin to this. So margin of like 10 pixels. Okay, it's looking cool. I'm thinking of maybe changing the font, just so we can like add some style to it. So font family, and I'm gonna grab something over here. I'm gonna use Trebuchet. I think this is the name. I feel like this, like I know this font is really cool, so you can see that everything now looks pretty good. And let me think what else we can do. Maybe now we need to add the 2 buttons, right? The button for delete and the button for update. So let's come to the bottom here and add a button, delete, and let's add another button. Let's actually add a how do I say this? Let's just add an input, right? So input with type text, and this is going to be the update input. So whatever we write here is basically going to be whatever we want to change, and we're only going to be able to change the movie review. I'm not going to make it so that you can update the title, because that doesn't make sense. So, and this button is going to be update. Okay, let's look how it looks. It looks pretty horrible. You know why? Because we need to grab the, it's not like, it's basically making the input huge, because I set the inputs here to be huge so that this looks good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add an ID for this. So ID, and this ID is basically going to be the update input, and we're gonna style it on our own. So if we come here and write update input, and let me say width is equal to like 100 pixels, maybe something like that, and height is equal to something small like 30 pixels. Let's look how it looks. It's still pretty not that good. I need to increase maybe the size of the card. Yeah, I'm gonna make this 150 again. Let's see how it looks now. It still doesn't look good. Maybe decrease the size of these things, make this 20, and add a margin to this, a margin bottom. So margin bottom of like 10 pixels. Let's see how it looks. It's still the same. So I'm gonna just increase this to 170, and I think this should be good. Yeah. So we have our delete button, we have our update input, and our update button, right? So let's make it so that whenever you click delete, you can delete everything here. So let's come here and create a function called delete review. Const delete review equal to like the arrow syntax, and let's make an xuse dot delete request. And inside of here, we're gonna set our URL. I'm gonna just copy this and set it right here. We're gonna set it equal to /API/delete because we're gonna create that. And let's send a variable, maybe just the movie name, and no, actually I'm thinking the ID, right? No, but we're not setting the ID. Okay, so let's just send the movie name, and that should be good. So let's go to our backend and let's create a app.delete API endpoint, right? So app.delete, and this is going to be, as we mentioned before, /API/delete, and there's going to be a require, a response, and we're going to create a function out of it. So we're going to grab first the movie name, so const name equal to rec.body.movie name, and let's create the SQL syntax for this, right? So let's come here and insert into movie. We're going to change this. Basically, this is going to be delete from the name of the database, the name of the table, so movie reviews, and where, and this is the case, right? So where movie name equal to whatever we're setting, right? So let's grab movie name, and I'm going to explain this better. Movie name equal to question mark. So basically what we're saying here is delete from the table where the movie name is equal to the movie name that we set over here. So we're deleting whatever movie has this name. And if we come here, the reason why we're putting a question mark, as I said in the last video, is so that we can sanitize our inputs. So basically we can just set the variable here instead of directly inside of the string. And this is important for various different reasons. So if I come here and put database.query and I add the SQL, I'm going to change this name, so SQL delete, and I add this variable here, and then on the side I add the name. And as you can see, like, since this is only taking one variable, I don't need to create an array like I created last time, because this time I was setting two variables, two question marks. In this one I'm only setting once, and that also comes into place when I'm sending the data through the Axios request. As you can see on the Axios.post where we inserted data into the database, we're sending two pieces of information, the movie name and the movie review. That's why we created an object. But in this case, we're only setting one object, one variable, which is the movie name, so we don't really need to create an object out of it. So now we have this function right here, right? So we have the delete review, and we created the app.delete route on the backend. We just need to then set a function out of this, so error results, and let's grab this information, and I'm also going to do this. So inside of here, if we have any error, let's console log the error, and let's only do this if there is any error. So if error, then do this, and let's see what happens, right? So we have the endpoint, and when we come here and we do this, we just need to set the delete review whenever we click the button. So let's come to the delete button and press on click equal to delete review, right? So for example, if I'm trying to delete the this review right here, I can just come here and press delete, and when I refresh the page, nothing happens. Let's see what error appeared. So I get what's happening. Basically, we can't just set an object like this. We're gonna try to send the object through the parameters of the URL itself, right? So basically, instead of just calling /API/delete, we're gonna call it /API/ a variable, and we're gonna pass the variable directly on the route, and this variable is going to be the movie name. So I'm gonna remove this, and I'm gonna even change this quotes to become this type of quote, because then we can pass variables inside of this. And inside of here, we're gonna set the movie name. But I just realized something as well. I was setting the movie name as whatever object we're trying to delete. but this is incorrect because the movie name represents the variable that it's currently being written on the input, right? So basically we want to delete the specific movie that we're clicking the button. So for that we need to pass a variable inside of the delete function. So on the onClick event, I'm going to create this syntax so that we can pass a variable to our function. And over here on the delete review, I'm going to pass the value.movie name, so that for every delete review, we have a different movie that we're passing. So if I come here and I create a name over here, like for example, movie, and instead of movie name, I said here movie, then now we're sending the correct information to our backend. And if we come back to our backend, I'm going to change some stuff. Instead of /API/delete, we're going to make /API/delete, and we're going to add the following syntax, which is how you create a way so that you can pass parameters to your route. We're going to add the colon and then the name of whatever variable we're passing. So we're passing a movie name. And over here, instead of rect.body, we're grabbing rect.params. And now this should be completely correct. If I come back here and I refresh our browser and I try to delete this right here and I click delete, you can see that now it's completely deleted from our database. It's deleted from our front end. It's all correct, right? So now we have the following project. It's working. We have a delete functionality. We just need to do one more thing, which is create the update functionality. So we're coming back to our backend, and let's create another route called another API endpoint, sorry, called app.put, and instead of this, it's going to be the update /update, and we're doing it based on the movie review, right? So we're grabbing. Should we actually do it based on? No, we're doing it based on movie name, but we're trying to update the movie review. So let's change this to an SQL update. And for those who don't know, the syntax or the command to update stuff on our MySQL database or any other SQL type language, basically you just need to write update set basically, let's think the name of the table, right? So movie reviews, and the name of the column. So we're trying to update movie review is the name of the column, equal to question mark, and the question mark is something is the variable that we're gonna pass right here. So I also need to write a where, right? So where movie name equals to this. So basically we're saying update the table movie reviews and set the column movie review equal to some variable where the movie name is equal to something. So we're specifying which column we want to change based on the movie name. And for that reason, we need to grab two things. So we need to grab the movie name and the movie review, right? So movie review, and we're not going to use params. We're going to use body. So rect.body and rect.body.movie review. It's going to be really similar to the insert statement. And over here, we're not passing only one variable, so we need to pass an array, and we need to put it in order, right? So the first variable that we're asking is the movie review, so we're going to pass the review, and the second one is the name. Okay, and we're going to change this to SQL update, and this should be working. So basically, I forgot to mention that this is the four different ways you can treat an HTTP request. You can get information, which is the read part of the CRUD. You can post information, which is the insert part or the create part. Then whenever you want to delete, there's the delete, and whenever you want to update, there's the put. So this is how you always work with the different HTTP requests. So let's go to our front end and let's create a function called update review. And let's grab here and let's try to pass a variable. We're passing the movie name. So yeah, let's still use movie, and instead of this, let's change it to exus.put, and let's remove this. let's make it a simple URL without any params, and this is going to be API/update, right? And let's pass another variable just like we did on the app.post, because we can do this for the update. And let's create a state, right? We need to create a state for the variable that we're currently, like the input that we're currently trying to change. So like, let's come here and write const new review and set new review, and let's create a use state and set it equal to an empty string, right? So whenever we work, whenever we change the input, we want to set the, let me write here. So we want to set the new review equal to the event, which we didn't create yet. So e.target.value, right? This is really simple. This is what we did on the other inputs in our application. And now we're setting the new review equal to this. We also want to, whenever we finish this, we want to clear. So set our new review variable equal to an empty string, so that we can use it again if we're trying to update different movie reviews, right? So set new review equal to an empty string, because whenever we finish sending this information, we're using the same variable for every single movie review. So we want to set it equal to, we want to clear it, you know? So this should be right. And the movie, we're passing the movie, and the review, we're passing the new review. So let's also create an on-click event for this, just like we did for the delete button, because we're going to pass a variable here. And let me write update review, and we're going to pass the value, the movie name, right? Just like the delete button. So I have a feeling that this should be working, but as I mentioned, there's always something wrong. So let's try this. I'm going to refresh everything, and I want to change the inception review from good movie to awesome movie. And let me click update. Let's refresh the screen, and it didn't work. Let's look at what happened. So, and we're back. It didn't take long. I kind of already knew when I looked at my code again, I already figured it out. And as you can see, we changed everything. Basically, I wrote the SQL statement wrong. It's not update set the name of the table and the columns. It's update the name of the table, set the columns where movie name is equal to this. It's really simple. I don't know why I did that, but that's okay. So you can see that if I come here, and first of all, I'm going to delete all the Smurfs. So, okay, and if I want to change Harry Potter to the best movie franchise in history of cinema, and I click update, and I refresh the page, you can see that it correctly updated everything, and it will keep it that way because we're updating it in our database. And I don't know if this video is too long, but we created our whole CRUD application. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys liked this series. I'm still thinking of making some series where I actually make it look good, because I know this looks like shit, but I'm trying to just focus on functionality. But I'm also really interested in working on the front end with doing some CSS. So I'm definitely thinking of doing some series where I teach you guys how to work with that in a better and more like visually appealing way, you know, if you know what I mean. So I hope you guys enjoyed this series. It was really nice doing this for you guys. And if you have any questions, any doubts, please leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this series, please like this video, and I see you guys next time.